G'day guys. I really have to do a real a heartfelt thank you to you guys so much, because I didn't realise how many people loved Bruno like I loved him. Families telling me that they were all crying watching the passing of him. It had a profound effect on me losing him, but obviously it affected a lot of you guys too. And because of that, I wasn't going to show the funeral of him to everybody. I was only going to show it to my patrons, but I realised I actually have an obligation to, because he was a big part of so many of your lives, and it feels wrong to just keep that hidden. So this is where he's buried. This is where he looks, the paddock he used to walk, and he had a fantastic walk the day before he died. He was almost like a brand new dog, and then he passed away in his sleep. And I really am moved by your comments. So sit back, and this funeral, I'm bringing it to you guys because I think you have a right to see his final departure, where he ended up. I hope this gives you also some sense of closure, as it has for me. Because he's looking around for his mate. He's not here, mate, he's gone. It's going to be deep enough so the other dogs don't pick him back up.
That's right.
That's what dogs do.
They do.
They like the tops of their head rubbed right where you're rubbing, eh?
Yeah, I love that.
They do. Appreciate your help, mate.
All good.
Thanks for helping me.
All good. Sorry for stepping on your toes.
I just got a hug from a big stinky West Coaster. It was horrible.
I put deodorant on this morning.
Oh yeah, we came to the city, we thought we'd better spruce up a little.
Yeah.
Even washed the car, I was stuck out a mile away.
I really appreciate your help. These guys are heading back to the West Coast, so Ari and I are going to carry on digging, and we're going to hold a little funeral for Bruno soon. We might have a few more people gather around. The whole day is about Bruno, so that's what we're doing. Don't forget your tomato plants, bro. Yep. Thank you, Craig and Yana, for helping us. Going to keep on digging this hole that Craig started. It's going to be quite a big one. The flies are starting to do their thing on Bruno, and he's swelling up with heat, so we're going to get him in the ground and cover him up, put him to rest. Have a funeral for you guys, because you've all been part of his life. So I'm going to make that a ceremony here shortly and say some words, and then we'll let Ari put the first bit of dirt over him, and then we'll bury him. Just so you guys also that have loved him have some feeling of closure through this whole experience, because I know a lot of you feel close to Bruno. You've followed him for 11 years, he's been with us, and a lot of you have followed him right from the very start. I'd like to thank Monty for making it possible for me to have him in the first place, and I'd like to thank Awi for raising him as a pup for the first part of his life too. We've finally got a really deep hole. I'd like to thank everybody that helped to dig this hole, so it wasn't just me. And I'm going to tilt Bruno down there now. I'm going to let Awi put a little bit of dirt over to signify the burial, and then I'm going to get her son to fill it in, and then I'm going to say a few words. Right, good dog. Go steady in the next life, boy. Love you, Bruno. Good. It's the 4th of November 2021. I've got friends here in front of me who I'm not filming for this funeral, but I'm inviting you guys along. And thanks for coming, and thanks for your help too. Appreciate your help. Bruno was an extraordinary dog. He wasn't like other dogs. He outlived his siblings. He didn't even fit into the matrix of a Dogo Argentino. At his prime, he was 75, 76 kilogram of pure muscle and force with a bite ratio of 503 pounds per square inch. He was brutal on pigs during his hunting days. He would just bite over the top of the neck. He wouldn't shake like a lot of dogs do, he'd just hold. He never ever once initiated a fight with another male dog, or female dog for that matter. But plenty of dogs challenged him, and that was their mistake, because once they were in Bruno's jaws, it was good night nursey. Right till the very end, he was the alpha dog. The very end. That's interesting, isn't it? The very end, even with Bigsy yesterday walking on his last day, Bigsy was like licking around his mouth, and Bruno died an alpha dog, which is rare. Very rare. I don't quite understand why that was, but they challenged him, and at different times my dogs challenged him, and Bruno, as old as he was and slow as he was, still survived a lot. He actually lived and died a virgin. He was so big, he never got it up. He couldn't do it. He tried, but he failed. All the matings we tried to do, the sheer weight on the other bitch just didn't work out for Bruno. The only possession that Bruno had in his life was this. Dogs don't need anything. All they need is the love of us. Bit of shelter, food, and lots of love. And Bruno got plenty of that from you guys, from you, and from me. He's going to be missed terribly. He was a big part of my day-to-day routine. But on another part too, I also feel a sense of relief that he's no longer suffering, because he had some days where he suffered. Strangely enough, towards the end, he wasn't suffering. His last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been even running. And they call us with people rallying. Human beings do the same thing. Often they will rally, they will pick up their energy at the very end, and suddenly they just die, and that's what Bruno did. I am relieved that he died in the peaceful manner that he died. It was heartbreaking to see him struggle some days, but this morning, even though I was heartbroken, I was relieved that he'd died in his sleep, and that he'd given us the gift of a peaceful death without me having to take responsibility for putting him out of his misery, which I was dreading doing. I didn't want a vet to come round and some stranger and have his leg shaved and have a needle jabbed into him. I wanted him to die with me, and I was with him almost up to his last minutes. I believe he probably died between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. I was up at 3 a.m. and he turned himself around. He was still alive. I went to bed. I got back up at 6 and he was still warm, and he died. So it's almost like he'd said, go back to bed, Clay, get your rest. I've got to do some business. And he passed away. So here he lies. I want to thank all of you for being a part of Bruno's life. I want to thank you all for sharing the good moments and some of the bad moments. And if you ever get a dog, you'll understand the love and the amazing friendship and the loyalty and the companionship you get, but you'll also understand that there's a tragedy because they live such a short life. Bruno was going to be in his 12th year next month. He didn't get there. He was 11 years old. That was a good innings for an old dog. Yes, I'd like to thank all of you that have helped, and it's time to say goodbye to Bruno. And this is all I'll have left to keep, and lots of fond memories. If there's a heaven, then that's where dogs go. We're all going to miss him. Rest in peace, Bruno. And wherever you are, Bruno, you be good, boy. If you can't be good, be careful. See you later. Well, it hit me like a stone that my old dog, he's gone. Surely for dogs there's a heaven above, for they give us so much love. Oh, Bruno, your time has come. Now you're gone. Fare thee well, old boy, and so long. Goodbye, Bruno. Good dog.